My name's Evan Miller. I'm 23, and I grew up in a small town in northern Ohio. The kind of place where everyone knows each other, and every fall smells like burning leaves and diesel. I live in Cleveland now, work nights at a repair shop, but last Halloween I went back home for the first time in years. I thought it'd just be a chill weekend. Beers, old stories, and maybe catching up with a few people I hadn't seen since high school. But that night changed everything I thought I knew about the place I grew up in. When I was a kid, there was this abandoned property outside town, the Henderson farmhouse. It sat at the end of a narrow dirt road, surrounded by overgrown fields and woods that looked black even in daylight. People said the Henderson family disappeared one October night in 1989. No bodies, no police report anyone could find. They just vanished. For years, no one bought the land. No one even went near it. When my friends Eric and Dylan came back to town that weekend, we ended up at the local bar, talking about all the dumb stuff we used to do as kids. Stealing pumpkins, sneaking into old barns, and daring each other to walk up to the Henderson gate after dark. None of us had ever actually gone inside. That night, Eric grinned and said, "Let's finally do it. One last Halloween dare before we're too old for this." It was already close to midnight, and part of me wanted to say no. But nostalgia and a couple of drinks can make bad ideas sound fun. We parked about half a mile down the road. The air was wet and cold, the kind that fogs up your breath in white clouds. The moon was full, lighting up the fields, just enough to make everything look unreal. When we saw the farmhouse, I stopped walking. It looked like time had been chewing it up for decades. Roof half caved, shutters hanging, the porch barely holding on. But the weirdest part was the faint orange glow coming from one of the upstairs windows. "Someone's in there," Dylan whispered. Eric laughed. "Yeah, sure. Probably kids like us still." His voice cracked when he said it. The front door wasn't locked. It swung open like it had been waiting. Inside, the air was colder than outside. It smelled like metal, mold, and old water. We moved through the hallway with our phone flashlights, dust floating like snow. Every step on the wooden floor groaned. There were family photos still on the walls, faces half faded, eyes scratched out with something sharp. The wallpaper peeled in strips, showing dark wood beneath. And one of the pictures on the ground had a burn mark, right where the father's face used to be. In the kitchen, we found a door that led down to the basement. Eric said, "We're already here," and started down. I followed, trying not to breathe in the smell, that metallic, rotten odor that only got stronger the deeper we went. The basement was filled with tools and broken furniture. Chains hung from a beam, and on the far wall, someone had carved words into the wood. "Don't come back." Dylan muttered, "This isn't funny." Eric ran his fingers over the letters, trying to look tough. But before I could tell him to stop, we heard it. Footsteps, upstairs, slow, heavy, one step, then another. Not an animal, not the house shifting. Someone was walking above us. We froze. The steps moved from room to room, stopping right above the basement door. Then we heard it. 3 knocks. Loud. Deliberate. Eric killed the light. The air felt electric, like something was pressing down on us. The handle on the basement door twisted once and twice, and stopped. We didn't wait. Eric bolted up the stairs, I went after him, and Dylan was right behind me. When I turned back before leaving, the light in the basement flickered on. But there was no bulb, No power. Nothing that could have caused it. Just that same orange glow bleeding through the cracks in the floorboards. We ran until we saw the truck headlights. When we got in, no one spoke for a full minute. Then Eric said quietly, "Someone knew we were coming." A week later, I drove back during the day, alone. The Henderson farmhouse was gone. Not collapsed, gone. Just scorched ground and a few warped boards half buried in dirt. No police tape, no construction, no sign it had ever stood there. I tried calling Eric and Dylan. Both numbers were disconnected. Their socials wiped. No photos, no accounts, like they'd never existed. It's been a year now. Sometimes when I drive through that area, my car radio glitches out. The static fills the speakers, and for a few seconds I swear I hear a voice whisper, "You came back."